Hi there, grade 8. I hope that you guys are doing very well. Today we are going to be focusing on English. You are going to need to go to activity 9, which goes over pages 28 to 34. However, I think that this activity was quite long, so it might end before activity 9 is completely finished. So don't stress about that. Just go as far as is indicated on the slides, please. I hope you enjoy this lesson.
Today's activity is going to be made up of 2 paragraphs that we are going to read through together. There are then going to be a bunch of language questions based off of these paragraphs. So let's read our instructions. It's a social media activity. We need to read the passage below before answering the questions which follow. This Man Could Save Your Life, and it's by Graham Southorn from the Very Interesting magazine. It was published in November-December 2016, and the magazine was in issue number 32. We are now going to read the audio. So it says, passage to read, paragraph 1. Is social media bad for us? It's neither good nor bad. Social media allows us to stay in touch with people we know in a very efficient way, especially when those people are in far-flung places. The problem is that social media engagement has a very addictive quality. In our hunter-gatherer days, we evolved what neuroscientists call novelty detectors. 10,000 years ago, things didn't change very fast. So if something novel presented itself, it was a good adaptive strategy to pay attention. So what this paragraph is talking about is that social media isn't completely good and it isn't completely bad either. So it is good because it can help us to communicate with people that are very far away from us. However, we can become very addicted to technology. So when they talk about our hunter-gatherer days, they are busy talking about many years ago when there was first civilization in Africa, because we had the Khoisan and they were hunter-gatherers. Okay, so obviously they did not have the technology that we have got today. What this person says is that we've evolved what neuroscientists call novelty detectors. So this means that we are always looking for something new and exciting. And once something new and exciting comes out, we want it. We are now going to go into the next slide, which is going to have the second part of this piece of writing. Paragraph 2. We evolved a chemical system whereby we get a little shot of dopamine that makes us feel good every time we encounter something new. Our ancestors with good novelty detectors were more likely to remember the location of a new fruit tree or a novel way of catching fish. Today, every Facebook update is a novelty and it engages the dopamine system. Dopamine is the chemical releases when you eat a chocolate, when gamblers win a bet, and that gets people addicted to cocaine. Social media also becomes addictive, and successful people enforce time limits and times of the day when they engage with it. So what this passage is saying is that whenever people are happy, a chemical called dopamine is released. So dopamine is a happy chemical in our bodies where when it is released, it makes us happier. And certain things release dopamine. Now, when we find new things, dopamine is also released. So what the author is busy saying is that people can become very addicted to social media and to technology, as it is often constantly updating, which makes us happy. However, a lot of the time, people who are addicted to social media tend to not be as successful because they spend so much time on social media and focusing on technology that they forget to do things that will actually benefit their lives. Okay, let's do this activity. What is the singular form of the word media? So media implies more than one thing. The singular form would be medium. So for example, if you are busy doing art and I say to you, what medium are you using? That could mean that you are using one thing to create art, whether it is paint or pencils or pen or crayons. However, if I say to you, what media are you using to do your art? You could mention many things. So you could say paint and colors and pens and pencils. So medium is the singular form of media. 2. How can we tell from the heading and the first line of the passage that the word media is used as a single collective noun? So I have included the title and the first line underneath this question. So our title is social media bad for us? Now this has been used as a single collective and we can tell this because of the use is. Remember that we use the word is when we are talking about singular objects. For example, he is running. He is one person. So we use the word is. The dog is barking. The dog is one dog. So we use the word is. Okay, so by saying, is social media bad for us? It is making this a single collective noun. Another example, if we look at the first line, it says, it's neither good or bad. So it is saying, it is neither good or bad. The word it we also use when referring to one thing. For example, it is hot. It is happy. Okay, so it is one thing. If we were talking about many things, we would say they. Okay, and then we would say they are. So this it is also an indication that the word media is used as a single collective noun. Another word that tells us we use it as a single collective noun is the word allows in the second sentence. So social media allows us to stay in touch with people. And then there's an ellipsis because there's a carry-on sentence. Okay, so the word allows, we usually add an S at the back of the word when talking about one thing or one person doing an action. For example, he sits. He is one person. With sit, we've added an S to make it sits. Okay, this is different to if it was more than one person, because then we would say they sit. There is no S with the verb. Therefore, we can say that this term allows tells us that this is a singular collective noun, as it is used in a tense that we would usually use for singular objects. Okay, now we are moving on to question 3. Let's read the information. Allows is a regular verb. It follows the pattern allow, allowed, have allowed. Similarly, stay in line 2 is stay, stayed, and have stayed. But know, which is in line 3, is an irregular verb. It follows another pattern, which is know, known, not knowed, have known. Okay, so this is an irregular verb because it doesn't follow the rules of normal verbs, okay? So, then it is similarly, the verb to be is irregular. Its pattern being is, was, has been. Okay, then let's look at our question. Pick out from the passage 2 other regular verbs and 2 other irregular verbs. Indicate the pattern each follows. So with the regular verbs, they follow a strict pattern, which is usually the verb, you add ed for the second one, and then the third one you will say have, da da da. Okay, then whatever your verb is. So you need to find 2 verbs like that. They are regular in the passage. And then 2 irregular verbs. So the irregular verbs are verbs that do not follow the regular verbs pattern. Then you also need to indicate the pattern each follows. Now what this means is that if you look at your examples over here where it says allow, allowed, have allowed, that is what you are going to have to do. You're going to have to give the pattern of the verbs that you choose. Now we've got some extra information pertaining to question 3. So it says, consider the verb allows in line 2. Although auxiliary verbs often have a similar tense to a main verb in a sentence, their use can, however, change the meaning of the sentence. Look at this example. My granny stays with us and my granny is staying with us. The meaning of the first sentence is clear. Granny is with us permanently. So, with my granny stays with us, this sentence is busy saying that the gran stays with us all the time. She lives with us. Okay? Then the second sentence means that granny is staying with us at the moment, but it is not expected to be with us permanently. So maybe she is visiting. Okay, so my granny is staying with us. That is saying that she is just doing that right now. She is staying with us at the moment, but it is not forever. Okay, good. Okay, so this is continuation of our previous activity. 4 says, change the meanings of the following sentences by adding the auxiliary verbs in the brackets. Explain both meanings in each sentence below. So, 4a, the social media keeps us in touch with friends. So this is busy saying that it keeps us in touch with friends now. That is what social media does. However, if we take the auxiliary verb can and we put it inside the sentence so that it says the social media can keep us in touch with friends, that means that it has the ability to keep us in touch with friends. So it doesn't mean that it's doing it now. It means that it can do it for us. Okay, then 4b. Social media keeps us in touch with people we know. Okay, so that is saying that it does it now. Social media does keep us in touch with people we know now. But then if we add the term may to it, it can say social media may keep us in touch with people we know. So it's saying that it has the ability to keep us in touch with people that we know. It can help us keep in touch with people that we know. We are going to continue this activity on the next slide. Okay, this is continuation from our previous slide. 4c. If something novel presented itself, we noticed it. Okay, so this is saying that if something novel or different presented itself, so it was there, we noticed it. So we saw it immediately. Okay, but now we're going to add our auxiliary verb. If something novel may have presented itself, we may have noticed it. Okay, so with may have, it could either go in the first part of the sentence or the second part of the sentence. But this is saying that it is not definite that we would have noticed it. There is a possibility that we may have noticed it or that we would have noticed it. Then 4d, dopamine makes us feel good. So that is saying that it makes us feel good and it makes us feel happy now. However, if we add the auxiliary verb will to make the sentence dopamine will make us feel good, then it's saying that it will make us feel good in the future and that it is not necessarily making us feel good now. Okay, 4e, dopamine made us feel good. So this is stating a fact. This is saying that dopamine made people feel good in the past. Okay, but then it says dopamine has made us feel good. By using the word has, it is implying that dopamine is still making people feel good. It has made people feel good in the past before. Okay, then for F, people engage with social media. So that is saying that people are busy with social media now. It is the present tense. However, if we put should be there, it changes the meaning. People should be engaging with social media. So this is busy stating that people must be engaging with social media. They should engage with it because it will make their lives better or release dopamine, whatever the case might be. Okay, this is our last bit of the activity. You guys have done really well so far, so let's push through this last bit. 5. Use auxiliaries to form questions from the statements in 4a to 4f above. Pay attention to sentence structure and the position of the main verb. Okay, so we have got many statements in 4a to 4f. Okay, so now you need to turn these statements into questions. So I'm going to give an example. Has dopamine made us feel good? Okay, so I've taken a statement and I've turned it into a question. Please, can you guys make 5 of these sentences referring to the previous statements? And then your work for this lesson will be completed. Good work, grade 8s. I know that this is very different. However, I have had so much fun presenting this lesson. If you guys need any help at all, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm more than happy to help with any queries. However, I'm sure you guys have done a great job, and I look very, very forward to our next lesson together. I will see you guys soon.